So this week, what are we talking about this week?
This week, let's start off with safety about attics. Something about attics.
Yeah, so we are going to go into attics. So we got a few photos we're going to share. When we go through attics, we are going to talk about insulation, ventilation, and critters.
Criticization. Oh, no. Critters. Okay, all right.
Critters. We couldn't think of another zation. We're going to focus on what we see right here with insulation. So how would you describe insulation? This is a photo of an attic, and it's got some
Keeping it
insulation.
simple, insulation. You think of in the winter, you put a coat on, right, to keep you warm, keep your warm body temperature next to you. And that's what insulation does up in that attic. It keeps the heat inside your home area. It's really cold up in that attic. Now, the cool thing in the summer does the reverse, because you're putting cool air in your home, or your cool air is being conditioned in the home, and you want that hot air, and it gets really hot up in that attic, to stay up in the attic. That insulation, that coat there, keeps in its separation there. So you want the warm air where it's supposed to be, cool air where it's supposed to be. Something that's basic.
The depth of it, or the amount of insulation, impacts the R value. Basically, the amount that you have that'll protect you. Just like you have a coat, if you got the right stuff in the lining of your coat, it's going to keep you warm, keep you cool when it should. So that's what you want to check. So in this one, we see that it has some blown insulation, but it jumps into our next topic, which is ventilation, because we see this insulation goes right up to the edge of the roof. You don't see any light. And so around the edge of your roof, you have basically their vents, and they help flow with air. And so when there's airflow, that's the ventilation that cycles in air. It keeps things from being stuffy. Hey, unless that's an inspection, don't pick up that phone. No. So we have some blown in insulation, and they have bats, and what they call baffles. And these baffles, I'm sorry, not bats, baffles. And these baffles, what they do is they go into those corners that we talked about, and they keep the insulation from covering up those vents that are around the edge of your attic, because airflow is important. Now here, they're out of place. They're all over the place. But we actually got something here that makes that not important. It's what's called blocks.
Yeah, so generally you don't want your baffles all over the place like that. But in this case, they're really not necessary, because they have a wood blocking the insulation from going back and covering the soffit vents there. And so if your house has soffit vents, you don't want the insulation covering up. So that's what that block's doing. But generally, like you said, the baffles should be up. They should be doing their job. And so that's important.
Yeah, and then this one right here is you'll have exhaust vents that should be going to the outside, because they take inside air, whether it's from a bathroom or from a kitchen. It should be going outside of your space. And we can see here that this is not doing that.
Yes.
You can see
that's some type of exhaust, maybe from, like you said, from the bathroom. It can create condensation. It can create problems for your attic area. So instead of stopping there at this ridge vent, it should be going right through the roof. It should be properly flashed, is what the word is called, so there's no leaks through there. But you don't want it hanging like that. Not good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can see, it's got condensation. You don't want that steam. Just think about the bathroom vent. You don't want all that stuff just going into your attic. It shouldn't be. You want that exhausted out. So we talked about ventilation briefly. We talked about insulation. The last thing is we're going to talk about critters. And so if you see this, I mean, unless this is a barn and you put a pile of hay up there, you shouldn't see this. So you see there looks like maybe some bird on the other side. This is a sign that you've got somebody living up there. Yep. And this picture right here, you can see a nest. So if you got a critter living up there and they're not paying rent,
get them out.
So, it's just that the thing is, you've got that insulation. So imagine a critter rummaging through stuff. They eat stuff. They eat, they poop. Imagine that all mixed in with your insulation, with the air that's conditioned, cycling through your home. It's not a good thing. So that's why you want a licensed home inspector to regularly check your attic for you. It's also safe, because
with that insulation piled up there, unless your attic has a solid floor that you can walk on, you don't know where you may be stepping. And even if you can see, some of the structures, you say, I'm gonna just step on this little board here, let me tell you, we know for more than the people that we would like to tell you have comes from the attic down into the living space the hard way. So it could be
Yeah, the
dangerous. So
express route.
don't just go up there walking around checking out your attic. That could be very dangerous. If you don't know what you're doing, give us a call.